Hi Kevin, thanks very much for coming, and thanks so much for coming quickly too. I really appreciate that.
That's okay, Rob. Selling a house is a big thing. It really is, and a lot of people get very stressed when they're selling the house. So the more I can do to keep your stress level down, that's part of my job, to be honest. It really is.
Great.
So I wanted to make sure I get back to you quickly. You didn't start to sort of worry too much.
Yeah,
okay?
that's excellent.
Right.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
So what have you got for me?
Okay. Well, first, there's just a little letter just says just thanking you for doing this, letting me come in and say hello to you. Now here's something that we've been able to get off the net.
Oh wow,
Look
that's
at that.
my house.
That's your house, right?
Wow.
That's a bit of information about it. Here's an interesting thing. Look at the sales prices over how it's sold in the past.
Ah.
Right?
Oh, that's when I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And the last 3 times, that's how much it sold for.
Okay.
Now, this information is unbelievable you can get now through,
it sure is.
through the programs that are
so
available.
any buyers will be able to get that information as well?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
You pay for these sort of things, right? Yeah. There's people like called RP Data who, because we've got a contract with them, we can get this information. Yeah.
Okay.
But you could get those if you went and searched the titles office.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's public knowledge, right? Okay. Now here's something else I thought might be interesting, is that there's the demographics of this area.
Okay.
Yeah, as you can see, the majority of people in this area are between 20 and 40.
Same as me.
There you go, right? Probably why you bought the house in the first place,
Yeah,
okay?
that's right.
Yeah. And have a look at this one down here. Most people...
couples without children.
Couples without children,
Wow.
right? Empty nests. There you go. So the reason I show you this is, that's how we're going to look at our marketing. So we're going to have our marketing that aims at getting to those people so that they're not first-home buyers or something like that. Okay?
Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So sort of based on the information I've been able to get, I believe it's going to sell between, say, 730 and 750. Okay. See, I guess one of the problems with putting a price on a property is that it's not an exact science.
Yeah.
So we've got to look at different properties and say, well, what's included in yours, that's included in other properties, and what's is not included in yours. And you've got to make all these assessments.
Yeah.
So based on the 730 to 750, but what we should do is maybe start at 750. But bearing in mind, it may have offers at a lower figures. So how do you sort of feel about that?
Well, it's certainly below what I expected.
No.
I've done a lot of research. I've looked in the papers. I've, looked around the area, and I was thinking, more like maybe 800.
Right. Yeah. I'm not picking on you, but this is a common mistake with a lot of owners, because that's the only way they've got to see. They look at the papers and say, well, listen here, that's for sale for this amount. Mine's better. Everyone's house is better.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I've got better view.
Yeah. But unfortunately, 2 things. One thing is people don't know what's behind the front wall.
Yes.
And what's inside the house and what's out the backyard. So they don't know that. The second thing is that what they're looking at is the asking prices, and they don't know what they finally sell for.
Yes, I guess.
And it has a huge... Let me show you.
Okay.
Look at this. Quite a bit of information here. These are all properties that have sold in the last sort of 3 months in the area, right?
Okay.
And that were all similar to yours. They had the same number of bedrooms and bathrooms and so forth. And as you can see, they're all around the figures that I've been showing you.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what I've based my assessment of as to how much your property could sell for in this market. And the market's changed from time to time. So we've got to be very mindful of what the market's like. Is it a good market, slow market, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so there's quite a few there.
Yeah, it's a lot there, and it'll, as you can see, they're all around that figure that I sort of given for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, but can we list it at my figure?
Oh, well, I'm prepared to do that. That's not a problem. However, it needs to really be on the basis that if nothing's happening, right, you've got to be prepared. Let's say 3 weeks. I think it's a fair time to know if there's going to be any sort of responses. But if there's no responses, we've got to have a look and say, right, we are over the market, because people, they know what's out there. And if it's over the top for this area, they won't ring.
Yeah.
So you've got to be prepared to say, right, let's look at that price first. But if it's not happening, we've got to bring it back down to what I've been talking about.
Okay, well, I certainly don't want to scare anyone off.
That's
so,
right, and that's what we don't want to happen. Yeah.
All right, well, what's your fee?
Okay, well, our normal fee is 3% of the actual selling price.
Okay, well, the other agents that I've had in, they charge a little bit less.
What sort of figures are we looking
I
at?
was thinking more like around about 2%.
2%, okay.
Because even at 2%, that's still quite a lot of
Okay,
money. How
right.
would you justify that?
Okay, well, what we're looking at is that, one is, it doesn't, particularly in this market, it's not selling quickly. So I'm going to be spending weeks and weeks promoting it, talking to people and trying to find a buyer. So what, for the start is, you're paying for my expertise.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
And I only get part of that, by the way. I don't get all that. That's not, I only get a small part of that as my part of it. But the rest of it, we're looking at overheads, for the company to run their business. We're looking at, there's marketing monies in there that's got to be spent on promoting the property. There's all the documentation involved. So when you look at over an extended period, then it evens itself out at a reasonable rate. Okay? And that's what it's all about.
Okay.
But as far as the amount's concerned, what I'm prepared to do is I'll meet you halfway, and we'll make it 2.5%. How's that
Okay,
sound?
that sounds good.
That sound
Yeah,
better?
that'd be great.
Okay,
I'd be happy about
I'm,
that.
I'm pretty sure the boss is going to have, he won't knock me on that one, all right?
All right, so how long do you think it'd take to sell?
In the current market, on average, properties are taking 56 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not a slow
months,
market.
really, yeah.
On average, and at a normal market, you're looking around about 45 days.
Okay.
Right, so it's only just slightly over the normal market situation. So what we can't expect is that you're going to get a sale very quickly.
Yeah.
And the trouble is that during this time, this is the stressful time for you, the marketing, right?
Yes.
And this is where people are wondering, what's happening, what's going to happen. So you're just preparing you to say that don't expect things to happen too quickly.
Sure.
All right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, well, what do you charge for advertising?
It's not a case of charging, right? People say you charge, but we don't actually charge. What happens is that we have a certain amount of money that we allocate for every sale for marketing. But marketing costs, particularly newspapers, are very expensive. You're looking at a decent ad, $150.
Wow.
Yeah. And people don't understand how much marketing costs.
No.
So what we say to people is that we've got a certain amount of money, but if you want, to extend that marketing and have extra marketing, then we get you to contribute to help us do that. And that's what it
Okay.
is. So it's not a charge, it's just a request from you to contribute to marketing
Yeah.
so that we can increase the exposure out there in the wide world.
Okay, so there's, I guess, it's kind of basic level provided, and if I want it to be better and
That's
sell...
correct, yeah, because
Okay.
our money doesn't unfortunately go too far.
Yeah.
And because properties aren't selling quickly, we have to put more and more ads in and promote it in different ways.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
What we don't want to happen is to say, well, our marketing funds have run out, let's stop,
Yeah,
and just hope people are in.
yeah.
And then
okay,
all you've got
yeah.
left is a sign out the front.
Yeah, no,
Okay?
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, the last time that I sold my place, the agency service was just awful. I never knew what was going on. It was always me contacting the salesperson. It was really difficult for me to know what was going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, unfortunately, that does happen out there, and that's what stresses so many people out. I've always got to ring the agent, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I understand how you feel there, but all I can say is that, as far as our office is concerned, service is paramount.
yeah,
And we say that, right, we know the stresses that are on the seller, that we've got to keep those stresses down. And one of those reasons for doing that, the ways of doing that is keeping in touch with them.
yes,
Let them know what's going on. So my guarantee to you is that I will contact you at least once a week
that would be
to
great.
let you, even if nothing's happening, I'll still ring you.
Yeah, that'd
Because
be great.
you need to know that.
Yes.
And because if nothing's happening, we may have to adjust our marketing
Yes.
or whatever.
Okay.
Look at we're doing things right.
Yeah.
I talked about the lower price or whatever
Yeah.
it might be.
Yeah.
All sorts of reasons that
Okay.
can happen. But I will contact you at least once a week.
That'd be great. I'd really like that,
Okay,
Kevin.
right.
So the thing that I've been thinking about is, what if somebody that I know personally approaches me and wants to buy the house?
We've got a couple of aspects there. when we sign up in authority, there's a section in there that says if you introduce a buyer to us, right, then you have a choice whether you will or will not still pay our commission.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so if you say, well, no, I won't pay the commission, are you saying then that you'll now take over everything and do it yourself?
Ooh. I didn't think about that because I don't really know. I wouldn't know what to
That's
do
right.
after that.
And particularly as we've already done all sorts of work up to,
Yeah.
But, do you know how to write up the documents?
No.
Do you know what happens if you don't and you go to court?
Yeah. No, I don't know any of that. Yeah.
So, we do recommend to people, still pay our fee because we've still got a job to do and get it through to settlement.
Yeah.
You feel okay with that?
Yeah, I don't know any of that stuff, so that would be important.
That's right. There's another aspect that happens, and it's all, again, in the authority, that says that if I introduce somebody to your property and it's towards the end of the listing period, and they have a look at it but just can't quite make up their mind, and then the listing period finishes and you cancel the authority because you're not happy because it hasn't sold or whatever.
Yeah.
If that person then comes to you later for some reason to look at the property and you do a deal with them, we have to ask you, will you or will you not still pay our fee if that happens within, say, a month after the thing finishes.
Okay. Yeah. But I suppose even if they did, it's still worth my while to come back to you to get the documents and stuff
Well, that's
done.
the big point.
Yeah.
Do you know what to do?
Yeah.
The other thing is that would that person have come to you if I hadn't have introduced them in the first place?
Yeah.
So I actually found them for you.
All right.
Right?
That sounds
That's okay.
That sounds
all right?
okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this is pretty well all I can give you. I'll put a lot of work into it and make sure we've got this, the right information for you. Okay?
Yes.
So now, do you want to list the property?
Well, I definitely want to sell it.
Yeah.
You're the first agent that's been prepared to negotiate on the fees, so
Okay.
that's fantastic. I like the fact that you've agreed to contact me at least once a month. So
No, in fact, I'll do it
let's
once
make
a week.
a deal.
Once
a week, yeah.
Yeah, once a week. Okay.
Once a week,
Now, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to fill out a listing form,
Okay,
right? Because
yep.
by law, I've got to get this filled out. Because unless I get this completed properly, signed by you, I can't even put a sign out the front. I can't start any marketing. And the
Okay.
big thing is, I can't collect our fees.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get
Let's go,
done.
let's go.
Great. Thanks, Kev.
Right.